I first met Brett Blackman at the Skins Game Pro Tour Philadelphia. At the tender age of 15, Brett battled deep into the night to qualify for his first Pro Tour, with Iwamori of the Open Fist carrying Umezawa's Jite deep into the red zone. Unpredictably, Brett turned down the invitation despite being right there at the Pro Tour already, in order to maintain his amateur status for the Junior Super Series. Perhaps bowing out of Pro Tour glory at age 15 was the right move for Brett, because a couple of months later, he and his trusty sidekick Godo Bandit Warlord positioned themselves at top 8 at the Junior Super Series, and a cool $3,500 in scholarship money. Now battling in the Masters division, Brett made his first Grand Prix top 4 in San Jose in the summer of 2007 with Donkey Pong. Then set out a series of high finishes including Star City Games events, a PTQ win, and a money finish in Buenos Aires as the only American in Day 2, all with Faeries. But as of last weekend, again packing Bitter Blossom and Mistbind Click, Brett, with his LCQ and PTQ finishes, Grand Prix top 4, and JSS top 8, has something he never had before: the title of champion. Pennsylvania State Champion. Today, bringing us deep insight to the Faeries Mirror and the Pro Tour lifestyle, we are proud to bring you the 2008 Pennsylvania State Champion, Brett Blackman.
I won like a bunch of tickets on Moto, and it was like the most successful deck I was playing. It got me to like 1900. So I've been playing all the standard formats, and then I played it all block season 2, and that's the only deck I own. The key cards in the mirror are, of course, Thoughtseize and Bitter Blossom. Win the mirror mostly by mulliganing very aggressively. Of course, I want a Thoughtseize in my opener or a Bitter Blossom. That's two of the cards I always want in my opener. If I don't have that and I'm on the play, I really want to have a Broken Ambitions. So what I look for when I'm against a Bitter Blossom and I don't get the ideal hand of a Thoughtseizing it or Broken Ambitions or Bitter Blossom is I try to get ahead with an Agony Warp and just set them behind, and hopefully they just cannot get back. I mean, if the player you're playing is very competent, it usually won't happen all the time, but one can only hope. But if I actually had to change some things, I would take out the 1 Loxodon Warhammer from the sideboard, 2 Razormane Masticores, and 2 Puppeteer Clicks, and I would have added the 4th Agony Warp because I kind of didn't find another Agony Warp, which was kind of awkward. I would add another Shriekmaw, 2 Negate, and probably a 4th Infest. That's what I would probably do. I really like the main deck, though. I wouldn't have changed anything. Like, the 1 Sower main deck and the 1 Warhammer may seem a little random, but they were just awesome. The one deck I definitely don't ever want to play against is red. Like, facing down a turn 1 Mog Fanatic is beyond awful. I mean, also, like, Figure of Destiny. Those 2 cards are so ridiculous against you. Like, they just wait and do whatever they want, because Mog Fanatic can just 2-for-1 you, and it's really annoying. And then they have Flame Javelin and Incinerate and maybe Puncture Blast, so they're coming at you from every angle, and you don't have enough things to fight them with, and it's just really hard sometimes. Like, the only way you can win is having like a turn 2 Bitter Blossom and turn 4 Mistbind Click, and then just like Cryptic Commanding them out. I mean, it's not that tough to say, but like, it's really hard to beat it. Not saying it's impossible, but it's hard. I got to meet so many interesting people, like, besides the JSS, and I've met people from, like, Japan, Chile, like, everywhere, like, France. It's pretty awesome that I can say that I've created a network, like, all over the world. And when I'm applying to colleges, I talk about Magic on my resume, not like, oh, I did this, this, and this. Like, I LCQ'd my way into Pro Tour Philadelphia and my mom wouldn't let me play. Oh my god, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Or I top 4'd a Grand Prix. Like, I may say that. I might. I talk about how I qualified for Pro Tours in Vienna, Italy, and Hollywood, and that I went to Worlds last year, and that I've traveled the world, and they find that really interesting in the admissions process. And I've gone to Paris, Buenos Aires, I've gone to Montreal, I've gone to Vancouver, and I've been like all around the United States just playing this card game, which they think is amazing. And my stories are true, and a lot of people who write to these colleges, some don't even get to leave outside of the little area that they live in, which I am so appreciative that I've been able to travel the world. And they are really inquisitive about like what this game is about, and it has made me a better person, I think. And when I was in Buenos Aires, like I really appreciate having someone there that can show me around and what it's like. Like people that you meet in this game, they can be like your family. It's really amazing. You don't even know these people, and yet you feel so connected. It's people that you become friends with. You can definitely say you become friends with for life.
Keeping in mind that in addition to his money finish in Buenos Aires and PTQing with Faeries, Brett had to beat 3 other Fae decks to establish himself as the first of equals and take the Pennsylvania Championship. So let's recap his strategy for winning the mirror. The key cards in the mirror are Bitter Blossom and Thoughtseize, with Thoughtseize there to steal the opponent's Bitter Blossom. Mulligan aggressively for a hand with one or both of these cards for optimal chances of winning the mirror. When on the play, you can substitute Broken Ambitions to counter the opponent's turn 2 Bitter Blossom. Additionally, you can use Ponder to improve a hand without Bitter Blossom. In fact, you can hide Bitter Blossom a card deep to set it up the next turn while avoiding the opponent's Thoughtseize. When the opponent has a Bitter Blossom and you don't, use Agony Warp to destroy multiple fairies and hope to manage the board and race Bitter Blossom. It's not the best strategy, but it may be your best hope for overcoming a vastly unequal draw. Speaking of that 4-letter word, I hope you like this change of pace. Thanks for your time, Brett, and congratulations to the newly minted Pennsylvania State Champion.